Daniel in the Lion's Den. Welcome to Denzel's Bible Adventures, where Bible stories come alive. I am so excited you're here today, because we are going on an adventure with a super brave man named Daniel. Get ready, because the story is going to show us how amazing God is. Our story starts in a big, bustling kingdom ruled by a powerful king named Darius. In this kingdom lived a man named Daniel. Now, Daniel wasn't just any man. He loved God with his whole heart, more than anything else in the world. He talked to God every single day. Because Daniel was so honest, so wise, and so kind to everyone, King Darius really liked him. The king trusted Daniel so much that he put him in charge of many important things in the kingdom. Everyone could see that Daniel was special. He was fair, he worked hard, and he always did the right thing. But sometimes when one person shines really brightly, others can get a little jealous. That's exactly what happened here. Some of the other high officials in the kingdom looked at Daniel and felt their hearts fill with envy. They didn't like how much the king trusted him. They whispered to each other, "Why does the king like Daniel so much? He's getting all the attention." They wanted to find a way to get Daniel into big trouble so the king would stop liking him. They watched Daniel like hawks, trying to catch him making a mistake. They checked his work, they followed him around, but they couldn't find a single thing wrong. Daniel was just too good and too honest. So, since they couldn't find any real fault in him, these jealous officials decided to use Daniel's love for God against him. They came up with a sneaky, wicked plan. They went to King Darius and said, "Oh, King Darius, you are the greatest king ever. To show how much everyone honors you, we think you should make a new law. For the next 30 days, no one in the entire kingdom should be allowed to pray to any god or any person except for you, King Darius." The king, liking the sound of all that praise, thought it was a great idea. The officials then added the most important part of their trick, and anyone who breaks this law must be thrown into a den full of hungry lions. The king agreed and signed the new law, and once the king signed a law, it could never, ever be changed. Now, Daniel heard about this new law. He knew it was a trap set just for him. He had a choice to make. He could stop praying for 30 days to stay safe, or he could keep honoring God. What do you think he did? That's right. Daniel loved God too much to stop talking to him. So, just like he did every single day, Daniel went to his room, opened his window that faced toward Jerusalem, and knelt down to pray. Not just once, but 3 times that day. He prayed and gave thanks to God, just as he had always done. He wasn't hiding. He wasn't ashamed. His faith in God was more important to him than any law made by a king. Of course, the jealous officials were watching. As soon as they saw Daniel praying, they ran straight to the king, King Darius. They exclaimed, "Didn't you make a law that no one should pray to anyone but you for 30 days? Well, Daniel is disobeying your law. We saw him praying to his God." When King Darius heard this, his heart sank. He realized he had been tricked. He liked Daniel so much and didn't want any harm to come to him. He spent the whole rest of the day trying to find a way to save Daniel, but he couldn't. The law was the law. With a very sad heart, the king had to give the order. He looked at his friend and said, "May your God, whom you serve so faithfully, rescue you." Then the soldiers took Daniel and threw him into the dark den of lions. A giant stone was rolled over the entrance to seal it shut. It must have been so scary for Daniel, alone in the dark with all those huge, hungry lions. But something absolutely amazing, a real miracle, happened that night. God was with Daniel in that den. He sent his very own angel down from heaven. The angel walked right up to the lions and gently shut their mouths. It was like the lions turned into big, sleepy kittens. They couldn't open their mouths to bite or roar. They couldn't hurt Daniel at all. So Daniel spent the whole night completely safe, protected by God's mighty power. Meanwhile, King Darius couldn't sleep a wink. He was so worried about Daniel. As soon as the sun started to rise, he rushed to the lion's den. His voice was trembling as he shouted, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve so faithfully, been able to rescue you from the lions?" He held his breath, waiting for an answer, and then a voice came from inside the den. "O king, live forever. My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent in his sight, nor have I ever done any wrong before you, O king." The king was overjoyed. He was so happy and relieved that he shouted with delight. He immediately ordered his soldiers to lift Daniel out of the den. When they brought him out, they checked him all over, and there wasn't a single scratch on him. Not one. All because he had trusted in his God. The king was so amazed that he made a new decree for the whole kingdom, telling everyone about the power of Daniel's God, the God who performed signs and wonders, and who rescued Daniel from the power of the lions. Wow, what an incredible story! Daniel stayed faithful to God, even when he was facing something super scary, a den of lions. And what did God do? He protected him. The lesson for us today is so powerful. Trust God, even when you're afraid, when you feel scared or worried. Remember Daniel. Remember that God is always with you, and he is strong enough to handle anything. He will never leave you. And now it's time for today's challenge question. Are you ready? What did God send to protect Daniel in the lion's den? Think back to the story. Go ahead and type your answer in the comments below. I can't wait to see how many of you get it right. Thanks for joining me today on Denzel's Bible Adventures. It was so much fun sharing this story with you. Remember to be brave and trust God this week. I'll see you right back here next Sunday for another exciting Bible story. Bye for now.